12 months. Everyone a decline. In 2025, Las Vegas lost 3 million visitors, hitting numbers not seen since the early 2000s. Yet casinos raked in a record $15.8 billion. If fewer people are coming, but revenue is soaring, is Las Vegas squeezing its own golden goose to death? The numbers just don't add up, and what they reveal might change what you think you know about the Strip. The reality of Las Vegas's hotel business in 2025 comes down to three numbers: occupancy, room rates, and revenue per available room. Hotel occupancy fell to 80.3%, a drop of more than 3 percentage points from the previous year. That is not just a blip. It is the lowest level since the pandemic, and a far cry from the days when the city's rooms were nearly always full. The average daily rate for a room slipped to $183.52, down 5%. For a city that once prided itself on packed weekends and premium pricing, this is an unmistakable warning sign. The real gut punch came in July, when visitor numbers cratered by double digits and hotel occupancy tumbled to 66.7%. That month alone saw 420,000 fewer people than the previous July. But the most telling metric is revenue per available room, RevPAR, because it blends both price and occupancy into a single measure of hotel health. In 2025, RevPAR dropped 8.8%. That is the kind of decline that keeps casino accountants up at night. It means hotels are making less money from every room, every night, across the entire city. At the same time, the number of occupied room nights fell by 6%, and even the Strip, which usually weathers downturns better than downtown, saw its occupancy rate fall by over 3 percentage points. For years, Las Vegas counted on a steady stream of visitors to fill its 150,000 hotel rooms. That pipeline is now sputtering. With fewer guests and lower rates, hotel owners are looking for new ways to keep profits up. As traditional room revenue weakens, the search for alternative income sources is about to take center stage. Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas has always been a litmus test for the city's drawing power. For decades, the biggest sporting event in America meant sold-out hotels, sky-high rates, and a Strip bursting at the seams. In February 2026, the city braced for Super Bowl 60. Expecting a surge of fans and a windfall for local businesses. But something happened that no one in the casino boardrooms wanted to see. The hotel rate collapse. The average price for a room during Super Bowl weekend landed at just $157.75, a figure that would have been unthinkable even a year before. Circus Circus, a property known for bargain rates but rarely this low, offered rooms for $32 a night. The MGM Grand, one of the most famous casinos on earth, dropped to $99. These were not last-minute deals or secret discounts. These were the advertised rates, days before the biggest event in American sports. The contrast with the previous Super Bowl could not have been sharper. In 2024, the average room rate for Super Bowl 58 was $444 a night, and even a basic motel near the stadium charged over $500. This time, casinos slashed prices in a clear move to fill empty beds. Industry analysts pointed to a growing narrative: if Las Vegas cannot fill its hotels for the Super Bowl, what can? Yet behind the scenes, a different set of numbers told a more complicated story. While visitor numbers shrank and hotel profits stumbled, Nevada's casinos recorded a new all-time high in gaming revenue, $15.8 billion statewide in 2025. Downtown Las Vegas, often overshadowed by the glitz of the Strip, set its own record with $951 million in casino winnings. The Strip itself brought in $8.82 billion, holding steady despite the drop in foot traffic. Fewer people were coming, but those who did seemed to spend more, or at least lose more at the tables and slots. The pressure to keep the money flowing was clear. With room rates falling and occupancy down, the city's economic engine leaned harder than ever on the shrinking pool of visitors willing to pay and play. The paradox is impossible to ignore. The city's biggest event could not fill its rooms, but the casino still raked in more money than ever. Is Las Vegas squeezing more dollars from fewer guests, or is something deeper at work? The answers lie in the growing backlash over how the city treats its customers and how much it costs just to show up. Sticker shock is now part of the Las Vegas experience. A poll of over 15,000 people surveyed by Las Vegas locally found 88% said the city has simply gotten too expensive. The numbers behind that frustration are easy to find. Resort fees on the Strip range from $35 to $55 per night, tacked onto every bill whether you use the amenities or not. For a 3-night stay, that is an extra $120 to $180 before you even consider parking, room service, or a bottle of water from the minibar. MGM Properties bumped up both resort and parking fees at the start of 2025. Self-parking runs $18 on weekdays, $23 on weekends, and valet can reach $70 at some hotels. Even basic conveniences come with a surcharge. At the Bellagio, guests pay extra for real plates and silverware with room service. A bottle of water at Aria's minibar costs $26. Early check-in is another $20 to $60, depending on the property. With backlash mounting, Resorts World tried a bold experiment in the summer of 2025. For a few months, they dropped all resort fees and parking charges, and they made headlines as the only major strip casino to do so. By September, the fees quietly returned $21 per night for both resort and parking. The trial was over almost as soon as it began, and the rest of the strip never followed suit. Even as hotel profits sagged, the city kept squeezing wherever it could. The pain is not limited to domestic tourists. November 2025 saw only 239,500 international visitors, down from more than 300,000 a year earlier. Canadian airline traffic to Las Vegas dropped 18%, a blow to a city that has long relied on Canadian tourists for big spending and longer stays. LVCV president Steve Hill did not mince words, saying tariffs and political rhetoric have driven a wedge. He traveled to Vancouver on a sales mission, and he said, "A portion of our friends in Canada are not happy with us right now. For a destination built on discretionary spending, that kind of sentiment is hard to ignore." The combination of FEE fatigue at home and diplomatic chill abroad is eroding Las Vegas's foundation, one visitor at a time. Casino executives have not lost their public confidence. MGM CEO Bill Hornbuckle has been blunt, dismissing talk of decline with, "We are as solid as a rock. I read headlines that Las Vegas is dead. Stop." Boyd Gaming's Keith Smith echoes the sentiment, calling the drop in visitation nothing the city has not seen before. The message from the top is clear. Don't bet against Las Vegas, yet the numbers tell a more complicated story. MGM's own financials show revenue slipping in 2025, even as the company continues to invest $800 million a year into its Las Vegas properties. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, responsible for promoting the city, saw its room tax and gaming fee revenue drop 14% in the first quarter of the fiscal year. It is the kind of fiscal squeeze that does not show up in press releases, but it is there in the city's books. Industry critics are not buying the optimism. One prominent gaming entrepreneur called on casino bosses to stop nickel and diming guests, arguing the industry has lost its bravery. But instead of changing course, Las Vegas is doubling down on a new strategy: events and conventions. The city finished a $600 million renovation of the Las Vegas Convention Center, aiming to draw 1.2 million trade show attendees in 2026, up from 1 million the year before. The calendar is packed. Con Expo returns in March. WrestleMania 42 takes over in April. Formula One Grand Prix roars back in November. UFC Fight Week and the World Cup are both expected to bring in waves of visitors. The hope is that these mega events will offset the loss of casual tourists and revive the city's fortunes. But there is a question hanging in the air. Can a parade of blockbuster events fill the gap left by millions of missing leisure travelers? Or is Las Vegas simply wagering that spectacle will be enough to keep the lights on, even as the ground shifts beneath its feet? Las Vegas is no longer just competing for tourists, it's competing with its own reputation. As rising fees and shrinking crowds collide, the real gamble is whether visitors still feel welcome. The Strip's lights may shine, but the question now is, who is left to walk beneath them? Share your take below.